The reform of investment protection rules in CETA, TTIP, and other recent EU free trade agreements, convincing, by Christian Tietje and Kevin Crow. Europe's new treaties promise to fix investor-state arbitration. This chapter asks whether the fixes can work, and answers, not inside the current system. Start with vagueness. Most investment treaties never define their key standards. Even the CMS tribunal conceded that Argentina's complaint about fair and equitable treatment being vague was not without merit. But vagueness is also design. In Anne Van Auken's phrase, states trade credibility for sovereignty, keeping flexibility for disputes no drafter can foresee. So the real question is what specificity can fix and what it cannot. The reform menu is now familiar. Right to regulate clauses carving out policy space, closed lists clarifying fair and equitable treatment, annexes limiting indirect expropriation, and CETA and EU-Vietnam, a standing investment court with an appeals mechanism. The verdict on these reforms, they clarify within the limits of the clarifiable, and little more. Most of the new language merely codifies established arbitral practice, and the interpretive power of arbitrators remains vast. Specificity shifts that power from one flexible wording to another. It cannot touch the system's deeper problem. That problem is asymmetry by design. As the Rosales Tribunal held, the BIT imposes no obligations on investors, only on contracting states. States cannot initiate claims, and counterclaims require the investor's prior consent. The TPP appeared to revive counterclaims until footnote 32 rendered them nominal. ENIA's 2015 model treaty had real counterclaim categories: corruption, taxation, compliance, and dropped them a year later. The chapter's proposal is symmetry, rights and obligations on both sides, with causes of action for states as well as investors. The grounding already exists: rights protect, respect, and remedy framework and the UN guiding principles, which treat businesses as specialized organs of society, responsible for respecting human rights, with effective remedy for those harmed. A symmetrical system would restore bargaining power to both stakeholders and foster cooperation instead of confrontation. The conclusion: current reform proposals fail to convince because they contradict the logic of the system they inhabit, the only international legal system that accords rights without obligations to one party and obligations without rights to the other. Protecting the state's right to regulate from inside that structure is a contradiction in terms. Replacing the system, as CETA Investment Court begins to do, is a different question, left for another day. The reform of investment protection rules in CETA, TTIP, and other recent EU-FTAs, Tietje and Crow,